Hi everyone, welcome to Plat-Oh podcast with your hosts, B. Porter, Katie Hawkins. Oh gosh, I'm excited, so ready. Okay, so today we thought we'd begin our very first session with no other than Plato and Aristotle. Yay! My two favourites, as I call them, the big daddies of philosophy. They birthed it all. As
Socrates
once said, all men are pregnant. Actually, one of them did say that. We're doing Plato and Aristotle. The OGs. We love them. Sort of. So, let's just dive into it because let's plunge in. Let's start with Plato's main theory. So, the cave. Yeah, the cave. The analogy of the cave. So, essentially, there are three prisoners. They're chained to a wall. They can only see shadows. And there are three hooded people that are behind the wall who are holding the objects that are projecting these shadows. Yeah. What Plato is trying to say with this analogy is that we are in the cave. We are stuck in the cave, also known as the world of appearances. And everything we see is fake. It's just a shadow of reality. It's a virtual reality. We are ignorant. We don't care to try and find the truth. We just accept things we're spoon-fed. Basically, we suck. Yeah, we suck. We hate life. So he's saying, where is our proactiveness? Why aren't we trying to uncover the truth, access the true knowledge? Honestly, I'm with Plato right now. Yeah. But essentially, one of the prisoners breaks loose. He struggles up the cave, and this struggle represents the difficulty of shaking these illusions, this fake reality. You're getting free. Yeah. But it also symbolizes the fact that accessing and gaining true knowledge is quite difficult. Yeah, it's difficult. Especially in the world today, you know. Yeah. It's hard. Fake news. It's rampant. Yeah. AI. You know. You never know. Jesus Christ spotted in Ohio. Yes. But so once this prisoner is out of the cave, he is in the world of the forms, which is the perfect world in Plato's mind. It's where the objects that those people in the cave were seeing on the walls, those objects are truly there in their perfected form, because in the cave, those objects that we were seeing, they weren't the perfected form. They were a cheap knockoff of reality. And now this imitations. And now this guy's out there, he's standing out and he's like, oh my god, like this is so beautiful. There's the trees, there's the ground, there's the sun, you know. And he's like, gosh, I'm using my reason and my rationale and I'm seeing everything. And this stupid idiot goes back into the cave to go find his little caged up friends. I mean, you could argue he's not stupid because now he's using his reason and he wants to help. But he's using his empathy. Yeah, true. He's being nice when he didn't need to be nice. So basically, Plato's just saying, if you have friends, drop them, lose them, kill them. God. Who cares, bro? He does actually die, guys. Sorry. Yeah. So he goes back into the cave and he says to his friends, or cage buddies, please come out with me. Like, guys, like, I've been out. Like, there's trees, there's land. Like, guys, come out. It's a Friday night. I'm excited. And they say, do you know what? They say, do you know what? Kill yourself. Stop lying. We know the truth. It's right here in front of us. I love the shadows. I love the masked men. They keep me good company. Yeah. And they kill him. Because they say, how dare you say what we know is false? Because what we know is true. And they jab him with a rock or whatever else they had. They maybe strangle him with the chains. And he's dead. When he could have been out, partying it up in the real world. So yeah, this shows that ignorance is bliss. Ignorance is bliss. And people do not like it when you confront them about what they perceive to be true. Yeah. The analogy of the cave, is the key. That's his main thing. Yeah, key to Plato. What an idiot. Like, okay, it's definitely got some merit in today's society. Like, it is true. People who are comfortable in what they believe will want to stay that way. They won't want to change. Yeah. And that is true.
But I think Plato's idea is a bit too real, like kind of saying, there's this world of the appearances, there's this world of the forms, we're all in the appearances, like, we can only be here, but you can get up there, like, through rationale and reason and all that. Like, was he meaning it symbolically? Because symbolically, it kind of works.
Yeah.
Like, if you start using your reason, yeah, like, you can see what's supposedly real. But
Education is power.
exactly. But if he was meaning, like, this is not symbolic, there is another world, it's a bit shitty.
That's
isn't it?
just far too abstract. I mean, if
Abstract.
people really believe that they can use their reason and somehow climb out of this world, it's just, how do you prove that? There's nothing to verify that.
I kind of take it as like a place you go after you die. Like, if you've aimed to try and find reality in life, then you'll go to this place of
I
perfection
suppose
afterwards.
it is sort of like reminiscent of early
It's
Christian
kind of,
thought.
yeah, it's
like,
early heaven.
Life after death, I suppose.
But obviously Plato doesn't say, like, oh, you're gonna have a great life up there.
Yeah.
Like, he says it's great, it's perfect, but, like,
Yeah.
live your life. So basically, what the hell?
Yeah, what the hell?
You're up in 400 BC, you're living that good life, and this is what you come up with. The one problem that I have with all these people is, like, you didn't have to do this.
Yeah, they didn't. They really didn't have to do it.
You were rich, you were from a rich, nice family, you were chilling up in your palace or whatever. You didn't need to go to this weird bearded guy and say, please teach me everything you know so I can make my book. Stop it.
Like, why did he go and find Socrates? Like, stop.
I hate Socrates. And I have strong opinions on that man. Socrates, he's that one friend that always questions everything you do.
Yeah.
And I hate it. It's like,
I really don't like that method, like Socratic reasoning. Yeah, that's his thing. Where you just literally, why? But why? But why? But why?
Sometimes you just want to go out on a Friday night and have a pizza.
Not why. So yeah.
Idiot.
Essentially, the true reality is the realm of the forms, and we are living in the fake world.
And he thinks the only way we can really get this true knowledge is, we get the reason, the rationale.
Which is very difficult, by the way.
Really difficult, because he's like, our senses aren't reliable because of the world of appearances. So,
because things are always changing. He hates change. Plato could not deal with the fact that things are changing, and so he says that our senses are deceiving us. So there must be a place where these objects and things are eternal.
They're eternal, they're perfect. And I don't know how I feel about that. But we're going to go on to Plato's big idea. What the cave was boiling all down to was his belief as a dualist in this thing we can't pronounce called anamnesis. Anamnesis?
We think that's how you say it.
Which is, we have innate knowledge due to a belief in souls. So we have a priori thoughts. Well, me and Katie had to sit down for this one.
Yeah,
it's really deep.
A priori. So essentially, everything in the world of appearances, we're not learning. We're not learning. Sorry. We've already learned it.
We've learned, basically.
We are just remembering and recollecting.
So we used to be as a soul in this cute, perfect world.
Yeah, before we were alive, all our souls are there.
And then we come down and this world is crap. And we say, God, nothing's perfect. But why can I recognize everything? And that's because you have a priori knowledge that it used to be perfect. Like, these things used to be perfect. Like, that used to be a perfect tree.
Yeah.
And now it's ugly and useless.
Yeah, you are recognizing or relating the imperfect form, which is in this world, the world of appearances, and you're relating it back to the perfect form, which is in the world of the forms, where your soul first saw it.
What a funny guy.
Interesting. I sort of like the idea, like, it's quite nice to think about, but it's just, how the hell does that work?
It's really wrong, but I was saying this to you before, I like his idea of nothing's perfect, you know.
Yeah, that is.
I think
it's
he's
very
really
true.
like Pinterest girl quotes, you know. Like I think like he came down and I suppose he was like scratching his big bold head thinking like, why am I not perfect? Why am I
Yeah.
not, you know, Robert Pattinson from Batman? Like
Yeah.
why am I not cute? Why am I not like amazing? And that's because he knows like we can't be perfect. We're not perfect forms.
I
We're
think he
just living in
struggled.
this terrible world.
He struggled a lot with self-confidence.
Self-confidence, body image, like
And in a way that does sort of make it
it makes sense. Nothing is perfect.
relatable, yeah. And
You know, like
there is a bit of merit behind that.
after every happy time, there is a time of downfall.
I'm just not going to respond to that, but if you guys like it, hope you give us a like.
10 out of 10.
Okay, guys, we're moving on swiftly to Aristotle. And if you didn't know, Aristotle was a student of Plato's.
So he knew everything about this man. He'd listened to this man jargon on for years and was finally like, do you know what? That man was full
Wrong.
of it, you know?
He
Stupid.
opposed Plato, did not like him.
Everything. So he believed in a posteriori knowledge, which is like, we learn knowledge. We don't recollect it. We don't recollect. Sorry, recollect. We don't recollect. We don't go to this silly world and find out these things and then come back down and say, "Oh, it's not perfect and cute anymore." We don't do that.
Yeah, which is, I guess, a key difference between the two because Aristotle was a monist. He didn't believe in the soul, so
he believes in us here and now.
Yeah. So knowledge is gained through experiences, and
this world is the real world.
Yeah. There are no other worlds.
Place.
Humans and animals are the real world.
But he did believe in 2 different dimensions.
Which is a bit cuckoo.
Because for some reason, you can't just sit around and say like, oh yeah, this is where I am. No one's ever happy just being where they are. So he believed in the 2 dimensions, one of form and one of matter.
So the form is the object's essence, but it can't exist beyond the object. Interesting.
And then the matter is the stuff the thing is made of, which is in a different dimension apparently.
Yeah.
This is just nuts.
I mean, the way people nowadays still can't really define it. I mean, matter is the stuff a thing is made of. I just think that's just beating around the bush. Like, why can't you just get to it?
I think that what he had was he had the world and he wanted to make it more complex. He wanted to make an understanding for it. So he was like, well, here's the object, but this is just it. And then I feel like it's kind of like the early atoms.
Yeah.
Like he saw the atoms, he saw the intricate part of the object and was like, this is the individual. When the object is cut apart, these are all the things, and that's the other dimension. Yeah. Basically, it wasn't needed. You could just have one dimension where there's forms, and we can just know that the objects can become other things.
Yeah.
But apparently not. Because they had too much free time.
Yeah. He probably felt a bit pressured by Plato. I mean, he had to live up to a big name.
Because
he opposed him.
If you've just come from Plato's like little workshop or whatever, and he's been saying all this stuff about a double world, you probably need to have a double world, but obviously a bit more Aristotle. So it's a bit more understandable.
Yeah.
But it's definitely not very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
stupid.
Aristotle, I think. Well, when I think of Aristotle, just because we do RS, I think of his 4 main causes.
4
for everything. The 4 main causes are material, efficient, formal, and final or telos. If we apply these 4 causes to a bronze statue, we can sort of understand it better.
The material is the bronze the statue is made of. You speak then, Katie.
Sorry. The efficient is the sculptor and his chisel.
The formal is the shape or design being used.
And the final is the purpose the sculptor serves.
And and then he decides there's good and bad to objects. And he goes, if an object satisfies its purpose or telos, it is good. So basically, that statue is only nice if the sculptor decides, yeah, that's what I was looking for in that sculpture.
Yeah, if he deliberately wanted to make that bronze sculpture.
Then he would have. And then it's good, apparently.
Which is
it's kind of true.
yeah.
Like, obviously you don't want something that doesn't work the way it's meant to.
Yeah. I mean, the four causes, at least when it's applied to this particular example, makes sense.
It makes sense for a statue, but the thing is, it's too simple to work in reality. Because sometimes things go wrong and it's really good, you know?
Yeah.
We are so uncool. I feel like this podcast is kind of...
No, it's not. We have to...
So Aristotle has a bit of a different view to Plato. So Plato was like, oh, for goodness sake, everything's changing. I hate my life.
Yeah, he absolutely
Aristotle
hated change.
Kind of likes change. Like, he thinks it doesn't happen by accident. Like, change is meaningful. There's a sense of order to it. It is predictable. And it's part of the essence of everything, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's the unfolding of what is already within the object.
So he's got these two dimensions, and I guess the dimension of matter, I suppose, is the unfolding of the change. Very exciting.
So yeah, he didn't actually think change was bad. He thought change was actualizing the potential. The matter contains the potential to become a specific form.
But what the hell, boy?
Interesting. I mean,
It's just not right, though, is it?
Is he arguing then anything has the potential to become anything?
I mean, I suppose, like, if you think of it from like an atomic point of view, like, you're like a bunch of atoms, I'm a bunch of atoms. We can kind of become anything, you know? Like, we're all just kind of little things that eventually become like wood and bone and all that sort of stuff, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know, I just got really deep.
I don't really like that, to be honest.
I don't like it either. I think he's just saying things to say things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting because both Aristotle and Plato, they influenced Christianity quite a lot.
Yeah,
even though
that's why we call them the big daddies of philosophy. They are making the making waves. Yeah.
So Aristotle believed in the prime mover, and this was his idea of the ultimate cause of everything in the world. So it's essentially an early god.
It's like God simplified. Like, God, he's not nice, he's not just, he's just the guy that caused everything. Like, he's just Genesis or whatever, you know? And that's it. But also, the prime mover is not a person. I kind of see him like a little AI robot type thing. Like,
I always think of him as a... Why are we saying him? I don't know.
Oh, because sexism.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, guys. Because we have been ingrained to believe in men as
Why aren't we questioning it?
La, 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 la.
I always think of the prime mover as a magnet because of Mrs. Porter. You know the magnet?
I love Mrs. Porter. She's so cool.
Shout out to her.
Shout out. She's our RS
I know how to ball. I know Aristotle.
I don't know the other lyrics, but yeah.
Same. So let's just sort of discuss what the prime mover sort of entailed.
So he believed that there must be a first cause, because there must be something that moves everything else, but it's not being moved. So everything's changing, but there must be something that's not changing. And that's where Aristotle kind of gets a bit like Plato, because he's saying, obviously he doesn't think change is bad, but he thinks there must be something like great out there that isn't changing.
Yeah.
Which, that's the prime mover.
Mm-hmm.
The unmoved mover. The unmoved mover. It doesn't push or pull things like physical force. Instead, it draws everything towards itself as a perfect, unchanging being. What do you think about that, Katie?
I mean, I think it sort of makes sense. There's some merit in the argument that, you know, a chain of causes can't go on forever.
There must be something.
Yeah, there must be something.
But I mean, that's the basis of all religion.
Yeah.
Like, there must be something.
But then I always sort of tend to
Say go away.
Well, that and lean to chance. I
think we're by chance. I think Big Bang.
Yeah.
Big Bang.
Big Bang.
What's your favourite character on The Big Bang Theory?
Oh, what was it? Is it? What's the...
Sheldon?
Yeah. Guys, what's the name of the girl that has a really like high pitched voice? The blonde one.
I don't know. I didn't watch the show.
Hi guys, don't ever talk about this again. Cut it out right now, Beatrice. So yeah, the prime mover has pure actuality and has no potential. So this is quite an odd thing to say. When I first learnt it, when Miss Porter first told us that, I was like, what does that
Like,
mean?
that's such a
Has
rude thing
no
to say about your god.
potential.
No potential, it's crap. But actually, he was meaning potential like, it has no possibility to change. Like, it's already there. It doesn't need to get better or worse. It's just it.
It's already perfect. Like, there's no potential for it to even do anything because it's already
So,
in that state of
when it says no
perfection.
potential, it's like you've already got an A star. You're
Yeah.
too good. And you need to pipe down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, we haven't talked about pure actuality. So, this is kind of an odd phrase, but it's very, I was going to say Plato, very Aristotle. So, since all change involves moving from potential to actual, the prime mover must be fully actualized. I mean, if you think about it, if it's the first cause, it must be fully actualized. And,
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. So, should we like evaluate Aristotle a bit more?
Let's evaluate Aristotle. We've done his core thoughts of, everything's changing and that's quite nice, but there's one big guy, he's not changing. I think not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't dislike it.
I prefer him to Plato.
Yeah.
Because I think he's like Plato's angry little brother.
Yeah, and I think it's easier to. It's more appealing than
And
Plato's.
it's more acceptable, I think. Because
it's not so far out.
Because before, when I was saying like, oh, Plato, he's a bit understandable. Like, you know, there's the world of the reality. Like, we're living in ignorance, and then we can get better through reason. But when he starts yapping on about, you know, a priori, like saying like there was a life we had before this where everything was perfect, and then we calm down and it's crap. That makes it less symbolic to me. Like, he's meaning it literally, like we are going up and going down.
Yeah.
And that's what makes his cave thing ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Because in the real world, yeah, that kind of works. Like, if we use our reason, we can get better. But if he actually believes we're floating up and about, that's just not right, is it?
Yeah, I mean, if you saw someone and they said, "Don't talk to me, I'm trying to access the true knowledge and climb out of this world into the world of the forms," I mean, you would look at them a bit mad. Like, I just can't
Katie,
fathom.
don't talk to me, I'm trying to access the world of forms.
Yeah, like, I'm just looking at B right now, like, what are you doing? I just can't fathom that there's another world and I need evidence, and there's not any.
It all boils down to the fact that they had too much free time.
Yeah, they're just lounging in ancient Greece.
Like, Plato, I don't know how rich Aristotle was. Probably quite rich. But Plato was stacked. He had a nice life. He was sitting around.
He didn't need to think.
He was sitting around this nice house that his family had given. You know, it was all really hierarchical back in the day. Like, he just got some nice money from his family, and he could have lived it up. But instead, he started thinking a bit too hard. And instead of just thinking like a normal person, saying, you know, I'm here, have a bit of wine, bit of bread, bit of grapes, you know, go to the baths or something. No, there's got to be two worlds, and I'm living in ignorance. Well, if Plato's living in ignorance, then wouldn't we call this ignorant? Oh, that's quite smart.
I think she just shut him down.
Yeah, but Aristotle, I think he's a cuter idea. I think it's more understandable because it's more based in reality. Like, we know there are objects, we know that objects are made of things.
Yeah, and I like his four main causes. I think they do make sense.
Like, it's the end goal to have the purpose to be the same as the outcome.
Yeah.
You know, that I get. The prime mover, for Christians, I'd say, like, yeah, it's quite a nice idea. Like, it's a centralizing idea. There's something out there that's unchangeable, that's changing everything.
Yeah.
I mean, don't believe that.
It does make sense if you think about it. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
If you want proof, then yeah.
Then you're out of luck.
That's not happening.
But as an idea, it is appealing. Like, it's not like it's
Yeah.
super radical, like, what the hell?
Yeah, it's more normal. And that's why we love Aristotle over Plato.
Oh. Maybe we should have done Aristotle.
It's crap, isn't it?
Aristatistics.
Ooh.
Guys, let us know if that has potential. Don't. Please just don't.
Say on Instagram if you want our name to change.
Did you get any more? Did you get any questions?
I did get some questions, but I feel like we've been yapping on for a bit.
Yeah, I know. We could answer them on the account.
On Instagram, yes.
I forgot the password.
Did I give you the password?
Yeah, you told me it and I forgot.
I forgot that.
Me. Okay, well, this concludes our first session. So thank you so much for listening.
I hope you really enjoyed it. It was really 10 out of 10. Rate us on Yelp, Spotify, what's that thing? SoundCloud? What about that thing with the movie Letterboxd?
Oh god.
I expect some good Letterboxd reviews. Yeah. At least 3 out of 5 rating with mild enthusiasm.
Spread us.
I didn't mean that.
I mean, like, spread our podcast. I really, can you cut that out? B, please cut that out. I didn't mean it. Yes, it was really fun discussing with my colleague here. And we can't wait to have we can't wait for your future with us. And I just don't know what I'm saying. Like, just help me.
We love you. We miss you.
Stay tuned for next week's issue.
Bye. Bye.
Bye. Toodles! Why did I say spread us?